Hagler começou a temporada 2022 da Michelin Pilot Challenge com pódio e ela contou com exclusividade ou Elas na pista como que foi a experiência. Para quem não conhece essa Natália de Vivo, esse é o Elas na pista. E aí, pessoal, tudo bom com vocês? Sim, estou toda paramentada, afinal estamos na semana de carnaval, mas hoje eu quero falar um pouquinho sobre a Taylor Hagler e o pódio dela na temporada 2022 da Michelin Pilot Challenge. A categoria, que é um braço da IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car, categoria dos Estados Unidos de corridas de longa duração, começou lá no último final de semana de janeiro com a corrida em Daytona. A pilota estadunidense, que é a atual campeã da categoria, inclusive a primeira mulher a ter levado o título, conseguiu um pódio e terminou na segunda colocação e, além disso, dividiu o pódio com o Robert Wickens. Eu tive a oportunidade de bater um papo com ela contou um pouquinho sobre a carreira dela, como ela começou, os primeiros passos, altos e baixos, enfim. Essa primeira parte do bate-papo eu já postei aqui no canal, eu vou deixar aqui no link para vocês conferirem depois. E agora, nessa segunda parte, ela comenta um pouquinho mais sobre a Michelin Pilot Challenge, sobre como foi estar no pódio de uma prova tão importante como Daytona, se é mais icônico, como é ela ter sido a primeira mulher campeã da categoria. Enfim, ela comentou um pouquinho sobre tudo desse certame aí e eu espero que vocês gostem dessa segunda parte do bate-papo. Como sempre, eu peço aqui para depois do vídeo vocês deixarem um comentário, vocês compartilharem com seus amigos. Não esquece também de se inscrever, ativar o sininho, deixar o seu joinha, porque ajuda muito tanto o vídeo quanto o canal aqui, o Elas na Pista, porque o YouTube entende que é um conteúdo relevante. E também depois, se você quiser conteúdo exclusivo das mulheres no esporte a motor, inclusive a Taylor Hagler contando sobre como é ser companheira de equipe com o Robert Wickens, é só entrar no meu perfil, escolher uma das 3 mensalidades que tem disponíveis e ver qual melhor se encaixa para você. Bom, confere aí a segunda parte do bate-papo. And how was to start racing at Michelin Pilot Challenge, IMSA series, just so young and so fast?
It was honestly pretty terrifying. So the crew chief that I have now was my crew chief for my very first IMSA race. And to this day, it's still a joke because like growing up watching it, you always see everyone do like the line formation for the national anthem. And like, I always remember as a kid wanting to be like, oh, I want to be there. Like, I want to do the national anthem like that. That's so cool. So my very first IMSA race, when we lined up, I literally looked at my crew chief and was like, I'm going to throw up. No, I'm going to throw up. He's like, go throw up in the grass. Like Daytona might not notice. So that is still like a running joke. Just because like growing up watching it to being there it's honestly so terrifying. It's overwhelming and it's very enlightening, and the competition is so stiff from what I had obviously like club racing. So it's definitely rewarding too, knowing that like obviously I can go out there and win races. I can run up there with the big boys and do well. So it's pretty enlightening at the same time.
And did you notice any kind of racing, the guys racing you tougher because you are a woman?
I don't think they were any like tougher on me. I think it took a bit longer for me to like earn their respect and to like prove that like I'm just as good as they are. But I don't want to say that they were any tougher on me or more aggressive on me. If anything, I think they were probably like a little less tougher and a little less aggressive. They were a bit more standoff because they're kind of like, oh, a new person came in here. We don't know how you race. We don't know what your like level of experience is. We're gonna back off and just like be cautious. So I think that's gotten a bit better since I have raced with majority of these people for 3 years now. This is my 3rd year, and they've kind of all learned that I'm aware, like I'm not going to hit anyone. I kind of know what I'm doing. So they've definitely gotten a bit more aggressive over the years.
And I think you already earned the respect because you are the first female champion. And how the importance of that?
I think it's pretty important, to be honest. I think like Christina Nielsen paved the way with her championship in WeatherTech 2 years back to back. and that was kind of something that I looked up to. Same with like Catherine Legg being in there. So those were kind of ones that I looked up to. So I feel like I've kind of helped pave the way too in Michelin Pilot Challenge for females in that as well. I think it's a pretty important thing.
And how long do you until you realize, oh my God, I'm a champion? It was fast or took a time?
Oh, it definitely took a lot of time. Like it was so like we kind of knew it was coming, and like every race I had a running tally of like what the points were, and I would just like calculate every race. I was like, okay, so if this person wins a race, I need to have like this placing. So I kind of knew what we needed to have at every race in order to secure it. And I mean, even going into the last race, all we had to do was start the race, and that it was secured at that point. But it still never even hit me like before the race. It didn't hit me after the race. It didn't hit me getting the trophy. It definitely took quite a while. I honestly don't think it really hit me till I came back for this season that I was like, oh yeah, I am coming back as a returning champion. It was kind of something I just put in the back of my mind, and kind of still stays there because I don't want it to like influence the way that I act or the way that I drive or anything like that. So I kind of have gone into this season just pretending like never happened. Fresh season, fresh car, fighting for the championship again.
So no extra pressure for being the reigning champion.
No, nope.
And we can see, because you were at Pódio in Daytona, how was to be at there in such iconic track?
Yeah, that was actually like my first podium at Daytona, and it was actually Michael Lewis's first podium at Daytona too. So that was kind of one thing going into that weekend, that I really wanted a podium that weekend because it's one of the only tracks that I don't have a trophy from. And actually so me and my parents went to PF Chang's, and they do the fortune cookies, and I got 2 fortunes that good news was coming soon and good thoughts will become actions. And that was like 2 days before the race. So everything was going smooth, and I was like, okay, it's going to happen. And I actually drove, I think, one of the best races I've ever driven, and was able to, I think I brought the car to Michael in like first place and drove my way up from the back to third. And I think we had it secured. It was obviously like a bit nerve-wracking with having the penalty that we had and dropping back, but I think being able to fight from the back to the front just made the podium at Daytona a little bit more worth it.
And be at the podium in Daytona is more special because of the track, or is just like another podium?
I think it's special just in the fact that neither of us have ever podiumed there, and Michael being in racing as long as he has and finally getting a podium there, I think it was a little extra special for him. Obviously, we would have loved to have the first place, but second place is just as good. It's podium as a podium, but it definitely was also a little extra special because that's not really a good track for Hyundai. The cars just really aren't as strong there. So being able to fight and have 2 Hyundai step up on the podium was a little extra special for Hyundai, I think.
You already used the colors of Honda, now you're Hyundai. How is to you to represent such big, I forgot the well, you understand, right?
Yeah, the manufacturers.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. I mean, I think we're at a day and age where majority of the manufacturers out there want a female driver, and they're all kind of fighting for the female. And I had a really good relationship with Honda, which we still kind of maintain. We talked to a couple people. I'm still really good friends with Ryan Eversley. So I still kind of have like that relationship with the manufacturer and some of the drivers. But I think being able to represent Hyundai, who is still so new in motorsports, to help them grow, I think that's a little bit more that's a little bit more special to me. It's not that I'm just like another female out there. They wanted a female, but Brian Herta was very adamant that not only did he want a female on his team, but he wanted one that could actually win the championship. And that's kind of where I came along after Mid-Ohio in 2020 is kind of when he decided he really wanted me, and he was able to use my manager, who also managed a couple of his drivers, to kind of get me there. And then what he wanted me for kind of came true. So being able to win the championship for Hyundai as a female and be the first female driver to win it for Hyundai and continue to grow their experience and their their team, to be a part of that, I think is very special versus being with like one of the already established manufacturers. It's really nice to be a part of something that's continuing to grow.